where we talk about common interior and personal style issues. And I like to give little tips and ideas of how to make your style life a little easier. I'm Christina Pernfors with Aesthetics and Style. And today's subject is denim do's and don'ts. Since you can't see, we're going to mostly talk about our jeans, but since you can't see my bottom and what jeans I'm wearing, we'll put a little jacket on because the denim knit jacket is never wrong either. Really funny. This morning, as I was preparing or getting ready, I saw that the Today Show brought up this subject as well. And I can't say they stole it from me since they went on air before I did. But anyway, it's a very hot topic. It's actually a hot topic every season. And it's something that I hear from my clients a lot, from my personal style clients. What kind of jeans can I wear this season? What's in style? What should I not be wearing? So let's dive in and see some do's and don'ts with your jeans this kind of winter, spring 2023 season. All right, I'm going to share my screen with you. And show you starting with some don'ts. So what we won't see much of in the stores this season, and if you have them and love them, of course, you can still wear them, but there won't be available. It's the overly ripped jeans, the ones that have holes all along the front. Sometimes I wonder if it's more holes than actual fabric and why we pay as much money for them as we do with regulars, because there's a lot of fabric missing. But you won't see a lot of those anymore. Also, the low-waisted jeans are not as common anymore. And they've been in style for a while. A lot of us hate the low-cut jeans or the low-waisted jeans. Some people love it. And I know for us that are not teenagers anymore. Sometimes they're not very, very comfortable when they hit you kind of mid-hip. But those, it's definitely high waist season. And then the super fringy, where you see the bottom hems, very, very fringy or frayed. They're not out there anymore as well. Same thing with the skinny jeans. And I know some people love to live in their stretchy skinny jeans. But there will be versions of them out there, but definitely not the low-waisted skinnies. And if I can be perfectly honest, there are very few of us that actually look good in skinnies. Because skinnies have the unfortunate way of making us look like an ice cream cone. And unless we are perfectly straight or have very small hips, they will accentuate our hips and most of the time our widest area, while being super skinny on the bottom and tapering down to where, ice cream cone silhouette, which is probably not what most of us want. But if you love your skinnies and you love to live in them, by all means. And I want to talk about that. What jeans should I wear this season? The question that comes up a lot. And really, the most important thing is, first of all, what you like to wear. Who cares what's in fashion? If you have your own style and you like to wear a certain type of jean, by all means, go for it. But it's always good to know what's in fashion, because that's what's going to be available out there. So if you know you love a certain cut and that right now is in fashion, great. You know you're going to be able to stock up. So what jeans should you be wearing at any time depends on two very important factors: your body shape and your proportion. And those of you that have worked with me know both of these. That's something that we go through a lot, because body shape, yes, one of us women are one of 5 different shapes, but proportions has to do with where our different body parts fall from bottom to toe. And most of us are not perfectly proportioned. So there are certain, we are either high rised or short waisted or short legged or long legged. And that, of course, is a super important factor when you choose your jeans or any pant for that matter. So knowing your body shape and what works for you is really the key to feeling and looking great. And if you don't know these things, there is a free PDF download of the body shape chart. I will link it. Otherwise, you can go to Connect with Christina and download all my free PDFs. But that way you can figure out what you are. For proportions, it's a little trickier because it has to be measured. But if you have any questions, just DM me or comment below. So always proportion, body shape first and foremost, not fashion that steers what kind of jean you should wear. But let's look at what's out there this season. First off, and this is something that kind of goes through all the styles almost this season, the wide legs. So it's as far away from skinny as we can possibly go. The wider, the better, it almost seems like. But just keep that in mind that denim fabric is pretty stiff. So too much fabric is really going to feel a little bulky. So I'm not a huge fan personally of the very wide leg, because it feels like I'm just walking around with all this extra heavy fabric on me. And definitely wide leg with high waists. Now let's talk about the high waist. So we talked about the low ones are out and they're not very comfortable. High waist can be very comfortable. Again, if you have a very low rise, they are not going to be comfortable because they're going to hit you way above your waist. But if you have a fairly common, proportionate or slightly higher rise where your from your crotch to your belly button is pretty long, then the high-waisted jeans is very comfortable. Now, they also have the tendency of making your legs look a little longer, which none of us mind, right? But if you have a high rise from the crotch to the belly button up to your waist and a little pouch that you don't want to anyone to see, or you don't want to have any attention put on, then of course the high-waisted jean or high-waisted pant is going to bring that into the focal. It's going to be a focal point. So if that's the case and you want to hide your pouch in your high-waisted jeans, I would layer the top, meaning you put it on top and don't tuck it. You can also do like a little half tuck if you want just a little bit to show. You could tuck in only in the front or just a little bit on the side. If you kind of want to mark where the waist is, but you don't want to show all of that high-waisted pouch. All right, so wide legs, definitely huge trend. Next up, puddle legs. Why are they called puddles? Because the fabric is puddling on the floor. Yes, this is the most impractical fashion I have ever seen. So you're supposed to walk around with your jeans swiping the ground and the floors. Definitely needs to be worn with high heels, so you come up a little bit. And I will say, I don't think this is going to be a huge trend more than in magazines, because that way you can never wear your jeans more than once. I can just feel all the dog hair that I'm going to be swooping around my house. You will not see me wearing puddles, but hey, if you like that look. And it definitely, again, makes the legs look longer wearing pants that long. But just keep in mind, not very practical, and also a little bit of a trip hazard. Very easy to trip on your pants, but they will be out there and you'll see them in magazines. Then we have the split hem, and this is kind of fun. So this is where there's a slit either on the front or the inseam or the outer seam of your jean. And it's definitely the long leg again. You don't see any split seams with kind of an ankle cut. But it puts a little more attention on your shoes. So if you have great looking shoes that you don't want to hide under a long pair of jeans or a long leg, the split hem makes them peek out more. So it's kind of fun. I might actually try that one for myself. Then we have the cargo jean. Yes, not sure where this comes from either. So with the wide leg, there's also going to be a lot of pockets on the wide leg and fairly far down, as in cargo pants and regular cargo pants. So again, it's going to be a lot of fabric on your leg. Now, I've seen a few that have a little bit of a straighter leg with cargo pockets, probably little more comfortable to wear and less bulky. And of course, it's practical with pockets, right? But yep, something that probably is not going to stay around for that long. Is probably one of those one season trends. Just keep that in mind. Then we have the barrel leg. And what that means, just shaped, your leg is going to be shaped like a barrel. Now, that means it's going to be a little wider around the hip and leg, and then taper down towards the ankle. The barrel leg is going to be a little shorter than the rest of the legs because it comes in at the ankle. And it's kind of a new take on the straight leg, but definitely comfortable in the hip and leg region because you're going to have a little more room there. So if you like a slightly wider leg, but again, you don't want to hide your shoes, you want your shoes to peek out, the barrel leg will be a good option. Then we have two-tone. So should it be light wash? Should it be dark wash? Why not all at once? So yes, we're going to see some of these two or several tone jeans with different washes. Might be in the cargo pockets, might be in the bottom or kind of inseam on the sides in the wide legs. But yep, any color goes. So why not mix it up? If you're going to wear two-toned or several tone jeans, I would go very plain on the top, so you're not having too much going on at the same time. And then we have, I saved the best to last because the flare jeans are my favorite cuts of all time. Those are the ones I gravitate to always. And I know I will be stocking up because they are in style right now. As opposed to a couple years ago, these are the high-waisted flares. Again, it's all about the high waist, not the low-cut flares. So flare means they come out on the bottom, and there's boot cut and there's flare. Flare tends to be a little more, be a little wider on the bottom. Then boot cut is slightly less wide. And again, it's all about the width this season. So it's definitely more of the flare than the boot cut. Why I love a great flare is because they make your legs look a little longer, but they also make the leg look a little slimmer. Because you have the weight at the bottom, it as opposed to, we talked about the ice cream cone silhouette with skinnies. With the flares, you get that hourglass silhouette, which all of us women want to have. Very few of us do. But by having the flare on the bottom, you are balancing out the hip. Instead of emphasizing, you are balancing out the hip, which makes your hips look a little slimmer and also your legs look slimmer. So the flare will have a um, tighter fit around your thigh than the rest of the jeans we looked at, but comes out on the bottom. And this is my kind of jean. So from a personal standpoint, I'm super excited about this being in style right now. So that was it, my friends. Those are the styles you can expect to see this season. Might not love them all. Hopefully you love one or two of them. And if you have jeans already that you love and they're not in this style, well, don't worry. As long as you feel great in them and feel confident, then you stick with what you know. But if you feel like shopping, that's what we can expect out there. All right. That's all I had for this edition of Fix My Style. Again, if you have any questions or any style issues you would love for me to fix, DM me or just comment below and you could be a guest on the show as well. Don't have to if you don't want to. I will just solve it anyway. But if you want to come on and be a guest like many women have been before you, I would love to have some company here on the screen. All right, until next time, don't forget, chic happens, and there's always a great day for denim. Bye-bye.